Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna do something that's kind of hypey, and we're gonna do an AO tier list. So once again, that's Arena Offense tier list, okay? And what we'll be doing is kind of going through the category. I'm streaming live on Twitch right now, so if you have any questions in between the tiers, I will answer for you. So some of you guys will look at it and be like, WTF? And I'm here to explain. If you disagree with me, even after my explanation, that's cool. Even I'm human. I've been playing this game for a while, but I don't know half these skills do. So I try to put my best effort from my experience, from chat's experience, from doing research, and this is what I've compiled. Okay? So if you disagree, whatever, let me know. And free removal is just around the corner, so I am available for any paid room cleanups and free removal. There's going to be a lot of changes because of the Triton change, just because of Triton and Tian Lang. So everybody's going to be switching everything up, and if you don't know how to do it or any ideas, come by my Twitch. I'll give you some for free. Alright, with that being said, we'll start at the S tier. Okay, Oberon is S tier because of his whole kit. And in the S and A plus tier, these are units that cannot be copied by anybody else. There's no replacement. You need these units or it's a bust. Okay? So Oberon, first of all, is 44% attack lead. I think. It is. And it has a ventilate. So if you pair up Oberon with a fat Lucien, imagine having double fat Lucien amps. Plus a skill that ignores defense and one-shots anything. Do you see how broken Oberon is on offense? You ignore damage and you enable another rotation of double fat Lucien, or if you're using Tiana, another Saros, maybe another Alicia Cleave. So that is why Oberon is S tier, and the ordering of each tier, it doesn't mean they're better than each other. It's just how I placed it because it's how I picked them out. And for all of you guys that think this white Desert Queen is a bad unit, check out my YouTube video that I used this unit and destroyed everybody. So if you don't know, this white Desert Queen, its third skill is an AoE Oblivion. How many units in the game put Oblivion? I think it's 3. And this is the only one that does AoE. So think about the current arena system. It's going to be speed defenses like Triton, or it's going to be stupid monsters with mass passives, and that includes Vanessa Revive, Triana's third skill, Halphis, Samoth, you name it, okay? And also, the Desert Queen puts a silence. If they violent proc, there's still a chance. I think it's 2 turn. Correct me if I'm wrong here. They still can't do doo-doo. Okay? However, right after, you will see Amir. Amir is only, I repeat, only rated S tier if you're pairing it with the White Desert Queen. Because there's so many debuffs plus Galleon, Amir's ratios go up by a ton. And if you want to see the damage, just watch the YouTube video on my playlist, Rush Hour. So that is the only reason why Amir is rated so highly. And you can also pair Amir with Nephthys. I did not include Nephthys because it basically does what the Light Desert Queen, but worse because no Oblivion. And you're going to be using Galleon if you use Nephthys. Okay? Nephthys takes the spot of Galleon, but with this, you can still use Galleon and go for the attack buff and defense break damage. And plus, Galleon does not glance. So then, lastly in S tier, we have Lucien. Lucien has been the best from the dawn of time, and it's still gonna be S tier. You're still gonna use it. You're still gonna use it to clear every speed defense. You're still gonna use it to clear every slow tank defense. Quad Lucians, Fat Lucians, Double Lucians, Fluffer Lucians, you name it, It's still gonna be in meta despite the Triton buff. Okay? And moving along to A+ tier. These units, you're not gonna find any replacement. Is there any water monster that's better than Alicia? If you said yes, you're wrong. Because what water monster gives 44% attack lead plus 2 abilities in 1 turn? Do you know how much damage that means? If you think Poseidon, even after the buff, has comparable damage to 2 skills added up, you are dead wrong. Because also, they buffed the Polar Queens back in the day where skill 2 scales off enemy speed. So you already know at high arena, people are going to be running fast units. And if you go 3rd skill, kill a Samoth, you kill a Perna, all meta units, you instantly get a free 2nd skill. There is no unit that enables that much damage that can be used in Lucien Cleaves and Tiana Thieves. And then you have the Saros, the best fire damage dealer, the only AoE reset in the game that I believe does not glance, correct me if I'm wrong. It also provides a 33% attack lead. If you don't have Alicia, you don't have a Saros, don't ask me if there's a replacement because there's not. So summon some more, buy more packs, there you go. So Saros can be enabled with Tiana and your Lucien Cleaves. But most importantly, you can build Saros in multiple ways. You can build it as a resetter. You can build it as a damage dealer. Okay? And Samoth. Samoth is the only 33% speed lead and water monster that actually does damage to counter the fire meta if you decide to Fat Lucien. There is no monster that does the 1-turn reset, comes back alive even, and does even more damage. And did I say does more damage? So moving along to A, we have Wool Young. The reason why I put an A tier is because it's 28% speed lead. It's not 33, so the math doesn't check out. However, it is so good because it enables double Lucien with another damage dealer. So you have double Lucien, Bernard, and Wool Young. And inherently, you have a 28% speed lead to contest speed teams. Okay? But now that Triton came out, that's why I put an A tier. It's not as good anymore. And so you have a recovery chance, but you also have damage dealer to kill off Pernas that will one-shot your Lucien because you don't have any shield buffs or defense buffs. Okay? And Trinity's A. You know why? Because 33 speed lead is the game changer. If it does not equal 33, it goes down a tier. And I believe Trinity has a flat percentage damage, so you can use it as a fluffer and then use your speed Lucien, your Fat Lucien to clean up. So that is the only reason why it's there, because of the speed lead and some damage. And then you have Heritage. This unit got nerfed, but I still believe it's still busted. I could be wrong on this because I don't own one, but from my understanding, it basically takes away a bunch of stats and makes your team do a dumb damage. So imagine you take all away their stats and then you Punk Beck everything. Punk Beck, if you don't know its 3rd skill, it does tons of damage. If it kills something, it does the half of it. So it actually enables your cleave to do a lot of damage. I don't have too much experience in it, so can't give you too much information here. And then moving on to the A- tier. So A- Vanessa, like I said earlier, it's good because 33% speed lead. If you don't have Samoth, you have Vanessa. That is what you're going to be using to counter Triton. Vanessa, Kabila, Fat Lucien. The only way, reliably, assuming equal rune quality. And then Leo, I put an A-, but I think it's maybe a B+ range because we'll have to wait for the meta to develop. But right now, because the meta is going to be 33 speed lead and Triton on defense, if that Triton has no will, Leo is your man for the counter. Okay? That's why it's rated pretty highly here. Also, it enables your offense. If you do not have good runes, you can use double Lucien with Leo and be slow. However, will runes will screw you over eventually, and you will not get first turn because you either missed or because they're on will. So there is limitations to this unit. So keep that in mind if you're going to use Leo. Will Runes is the counter, and not going first because resistance is the counter. And then moving on to Jameer. Jameer is really good because it's like Ganymede, okay? Basically, both of these enable triple Lucien and quad Luciens in your team. Also, you can bait AI. So if, let's say, an Oki's on defense, right? And the Oki resets something, you can have your Jameer Ganny go first, Jameer Ganny go last, play around their team, but it stops that reset potential, right? Also, Jameer is rated, I think, hot, more than Ganymede because quad Lucien is just so dang good. There's so many tank defenses that you can just quad Lucien with guaranteed damage instead of Tiana and relying on Galleon. And then Ganymede is like an enabler, right? You can reset monsters that have a strip, like a Juno, for example, and that way, Junos are rarely on Will. They're gonna be on Revenge, Nemesis, stuff like that. So you get the reset on Juno. Your team won't be stripped, and then you can do your thing, right? So that's why I rate it highly. Also, it enables bomb teams, and we'll talk about that later. But also enables triple Luciens. And then moving on to more damage dealer, we have Lagmaron and Poseidon and Shimate. So all three of these units work in the same regard. After the Poseidon got changed, it has speed scaling. So their third skill on Poseidon and Lagmaron scales with their speed. So if you're running a speed Tiana team and you're still hoping to go old school and beat those Tritons with a speed team, these units will do a lot more damage back in the day compared to compared back to the day. And also, Poseidon has a 33 attack lead, but he also reduces attack bar. So that gives you opportunities to not get one lapped, to get controlled. Also, he gives, I think it's silence. And Lagmaron gives us chance at stun and attack break. So these offer CC, but also tons of damage. And then we have Shimate, the best free-to-play monster you can ask for a speed lead and also win damage dealer. It scales with speed, and you're obviously going to be rooting it pretty fast to go before your Luciens as Fluffer. And because you're rooting it fast, inherently you're going to have a lot of damage. So if you don't know the Shimate, check out the video, the Tiana, the how to counter Tiana team, and I'll showcase how OP Shimate is. Also, third skill is a nuke. And then moving on to these units I have in the, I'm going to say A-, A, B+ tier. So Pumpek is actually really good to counter certain monsters like Halfis, Triana, fire units, because how his kits work. So his third skill, you kill something, and then his AoE damage is not glance. It's going to be flat damage even of fire monsters. However, only problem is the Vanessa Triana meta, you need Zyros. Only problem is you need Galleon to defense break. So I rate it highly, but at the same time, don't put your money on Pumpek because if it all goes wrong, you're not going to kill Doodoo. Okay? And I also put the light Shimate there. I'm not sure of how his scaling is, but I know that it's not going to glance. So I don't have too much information to offer to you there, but I know that it can be potentially good because it doesn't glance, and also it does a lot of damage with its kit. And then moving on to the double LD Samurais. The reason why I put them lower than Triton, Lagmaron, Shimate is because their kit, it does not offer any CC. It's just going to be flat damage. So if you want to pair these units reliably, you're probably going to need a Zyros. Because imagine that Samoth comes back alive and you kill it with your first damage dealer. And then your Samurai gets stunned because there's no more will on with your Tiana team. So because they don't offer CC and they just do damage, I put them a little lower. But it is good because it does not glance. And the black and white Samurais are also very good with the Light Desert Queen composition. If you ever face a fire-heavy defense with your Light Desert Queen, pop a Samurai, no glancing. And then we have the Bailey and the Shayna team. And a lot of you guys are going to say, where is Martina? And I'll answer that in a little bit. So if you haven't seen the video where I showcase a Shayna Bailey team, essentially what it does, Bailey is the single damage dealer. It has a self-attack buff, and it scales with speed. And Shayna acts as the Galleon. It defense breaks everybody. It's not meant there to do tons of damage. And then your third unit is probably your attack bar booster to enable to go first, and your third monster is probably a flex unit. And the reason why Martina is not here is because, one, Martina actually needs accuracy to strip. Why would I want a single damage stripper that does not do that much damage because you're ruining with some accuracy? When I can use Gemini, also defense breaks. I can use Triton. I can use Galleon. Tiana. So why would I use a single damage stripper? Oh, for Halphys, you say. Oh, no, I tried that. It sucks because you need accuracy for it to actually work. The better one, if you want to use this team to counter Halphys, is Melissa. And I'm going to put Melissa here because that's one of the flex units that I'm talking about that you want to use to incorporate to counter that one specific unit that your Shayna Bailey team cannot hit. Okay? And then we're moving on to the B tier. So Chiwu, I put in, it's actually usable. You may think that Chiwu is not usable because his kit doesn't do damage, but it strips. The stripping part, second skill the second skill is actually really good, and third skill is really good against the meta unit Halphys, but also because it's a speed lead. So one of the teams you can use with Chiwu is Chiwu, Bernard, Galleon, Alicia. Alicia, like I said, is so much damage, okay? So just imagine you have a Halphys team. Your Alicia is not going to kill anything. And you have no stripper when using Alicia. But then you have Chiwu. He strips, Galleon goes, Alicia cleans up. And I'm going to say that a lot of the teams with Halphys, you're going to be able to land some defense breaks and not all, but you'll still get the reset off. Something's going to be really squishy, and Alicia will get that reset off to kill some other stuff. And then when you're left with Halphys left over, you have Chiwu to use second skill and third skill and cycle over. So it's actually not a bad composition, but that's why it's only in B. It's not an A because it's very specific in team compositions you can use with Chiwu. And then I put Beth at B because B stands for Beth. No, I'm just kidding. Beth is actually kind of all three of the Hell Ladies kind of work in the same way except for Raki. Beth and Asuma, they both work in the same way. You can use it as a defense breaker instead of Galleon and have two damage dealers. But Asuma, it gives no glancing. So that is the potential. You can replace Galleon for your Asuma, and then you have like a Saros and you have like an Alicia. Then you have so much damage in that team. And you don't even need attack break because all the damage, what you need is the defense break, and no glancing enables that, okay? And then you have Beth. So Beth, you can use in a similar fashion. It will glance. Triana's will never get that friggin' defense break, okay? That's why Asuma's better. But the heal block is so good. Heal block counters Perna revives, counters Triana healing eventually, counters Halphys. Halphys is meta. That's why it's good. That's why it's B. But the damage output is not that good because if she's your defense breaker, and you need that defense break to land first and then do damage. However, if you use it with Galleon, you will see more damage, but it really depends what you pair with your Beth. But ultimately, is Beth better than Poseidon? Probably not. Poseidon has CC that enables them not to take a turn and silences them as well, and also slows. Is it better than Alicia? Hell no. The damage from Alicia is insane. And Beth's leader skill is worthless. So you're never going to pair it. You're always going to be pairing up with a speed lead or 33% attack lead. Or 44% attack lead. So Beth, that's why it's there. Raki, B tier. The reason why it's B tier is because I like to group all of the Hell Ladies together. And the alternative to Alicia in your Fat Lucia composition is Raki. And very, very rarely will you use a Tiana team to nuke and kill monsters one by one. Because of the introduction of Vanessa Triana teams, it has made single target damage dealers very, very subpar. However, Raki allows you to kill them regardless because of how her third skill works. So that's why I put it there on B tier. And then we have the Black Dragon. Like I just said, Vanessa Triana teams, very, very meta. Perna, very meta. Guess what unit stops them from reviving? Has lower base attack, right? But think about it. Perna, probably not tanky. I'd be surprised if it was. Vanessa, probably an RTA build. Speed, crit damage, attack. Speed, crit damage, HP. It's never going to be triple HP because who does that and wastes the unit just for defense, right? The only unit you're going to be really scared of is just Triana, I think. Grogan doesn't work on Triana teams. I don't know. But I know it doesn't work on Perna and Samoth, right? And those are really meta on defense. And if you pair Samoth and Triana together, I'm very disappointed in you. So if I got this information wrong, correct me in the comments. I don't use it often, but I know some guy that used it a lot in this meta, and it works beautifully. Okay? Also, it doesn't glance, so you 100 crit rate. And then moving on to the C tier, we have Sierra. The only reason why Sierra is lower than Chiwu is because if you're using Sierra, you're probably using it with a bomber team. Not good. However, if you build your Sierra on attack, crit damage, attack, speed, crit damage, attack, it's going to do a lot of damage. Tons of damage. But you're probably not gonna use your Sierra just for that reason, right? Also, it doesn't strip. If you build it on like a HP speed attack build, the bomb's not going to do enough damage to kill Halfist. So that's why I put it in a C tier. Mainly because it's used as a bomber setup, and I hate bombers. They suck. And then we have the Homunculus. That's fire. It's a fire Homunculus. And Rika. And they drop to a C tier because it's hard to find fire damage dealers. And we put them in C tier because they're the only fire damage dealers left. The prime fire damage dealer you have is Saros. The Homunculus does tons of damage, scales with speed, is a good nuke, but does it have a reset? Right? No. It just does tons of damage. Samoth will come back alive and kill you. Perna will come back alive and Vine Proc can kill your whole team. Right? So it's just good for nuking. Rika, same thing, but lands a bunch of dots, lands a bunch of CC, but overall its kit is not the same as Saros. And if you're going to use fire damage dealers, why not just use non-glancing units that work better? So, and I don't know why you would ever want to isolate your Rika as a damage dealer just for arena anyways. So it's not flexible. It's not a flex unit. You know, it's definitely very viable in different parts of the game, but I don't know if you want to use Rika just for this. And then we have the double dragons, Water Dragon and Zerath. So I put the Water Dragon pretty low because most people use it for RTA, but then you're gonna build it on a speed, crit damage, defense build for arena. I've actually tried this before, Varad and Saros, and use it as Varad as control. But because Varad's first skill doesn't scale off attack, scales off attack on defense, your first skill is essentially useless. And you need to cycle your skills to use third skill to do even more damage. And by that point, if you're cycling for a second rotation on your Varad to do even more damage, you're not going to be successful in arena. It's too many turns, and your dragon is not going to soul Camilla, okay? It's not going to soul Camilla. It's going to crit Camilla, ain't going to do. And then we have Zerath. I put it in C tier, mainly because it does so much damage, but it requires so much setup for this thing to work. You're like, there's this one guy that runs it with a Rakuni on defense. All you gotta do is outspeed it and do damage, right? I don't know. Zerath is just not good. And then we have the D tier because all these monsters get dicked on. Okay, so we have Tower. Tower is hot garbage. A lot of you guys think it's good, but no. It got replaced in this meta because of Triana. How are you gonna squall? It applies to Legmron too, but less so. How are you gonna squall and kill Vanessa Triana? You squall Vanessa, Triana blocks it if it kills. You squall Triana, Vanessa brings it back alive and it heals. And more importantly, you're probably not gonna kill it if you miss defense break. But let's just say you land defense break. You have a Ariel, that's defense broken. You have a Triana, that's defense broken. You have a Vanessa, that's defense broken. Who are you going to squall? If you use third skill, the Praha, the Ariel, they're probably going to trigger Nemesis. And if they don't, they get revived by Vanessa or get Vanessa or Triana proc. And what are you going to do? You're essentially useless. So that's why Tower's garbage now. And Water Monkey King, I tested it. It's really an RTA unit. The third skill, your single target nuking, it does the most damage. The second skill is so lackluster. I try to rune with Despair, get some stuns in, get my attack bar up again to cycle into a third. But really, it does not work. It does not output the same damage amount. Okay? And Teshar. There's only one thing to say about Teshar. Why would I use Teshar when I can use Lucien? I have guaranteed damage versus I need Galleon into third skill into I'm missing everything garbage. Charlotte. Your Charlotte is just use Lucien. I don't get it. Just use Lucien. You want to use Charlotte for control? Okay, I understand. You can use it to control attack bar and everything, but why do you want to cycle so many turns? Just get Lucien. It's a 4-star unit. It's free. And I put Odin here. I didn't want to put Odin here because it's single damage dealer, and almost nobody uses single damage dealers in Arena because you want to speed AoE clear. But telling you right now, double Odin AO sucks. D for getting dicked on. Okay? Sigmaris, Julie, these are the free-to-play options for water AoE. If you have nothing, use these units. And then I put Jun also in D because Jun does, after discussing with my chat, Jun does less damage than Fire Homunculus and Rika, therefore automatically below them. And then we have a bunch of speed leads. Okay, we have 3 ninjas, and they're under Sierra. Reason being is the only time you're ever gonna run Susano lead in Arena is if Bastet or Orion is your primary booster and you're facing another speed lead. And even then you're missing 3%. Light Ninja, same concept. If you need it for Tion, there you go. And then we have Orochi, same concept. If you don't have a 33 lead, 24 lead, whatever for your Bernard, there you go. And Light Ninja, gonna be very good with your Kabila, especially if you're lacking the speed lead, which is called Vanessa Samoth. And I think they're better than Vanessa Samoth. I mean Vanessa because of how much damage they do, but they restrict you to a specific unit, so that's why it's rated like C-. And Faye, it's single target damage. I mean, it's random damage. You never want it to be random. You want it to hit every unit, not one unit 4 times because you got unlucky. But it's a speed lead. It's universal. That's why I put it there. Okay. And then F, it's all the bombers. If you like to lose, make sure you rune up a bomber team. Okay. Take your chances at losing because bombers give you just that. So if you like to rage like RTA, build any one of these 5 bombers. Let me know how that goes for you and what rank you hit because you're going to be struggling. So that is all for the tier list review. If you guys disagree with anything, don't leave a comment below. You know, I'm more than happy to adjust this, but this is the first version that I released. And thanks so much for subscribing, checking out my channel, and once again, shout out, I am available for any rune cleanups for the upcoming FRR or rune removal. Send me an email with what you need. I'll give you a quote. And thanks so much. Oh, and look out for maybe a tier list for AD, maybe. And thanks for sharing my stream.